Dropping in just 2 months, 2.5 months, a long time it feels like still, is Days Gone, Sony's big single-player open-world game for 2019 outside of The Last of Us Part 2, right? Honestly, outside of The Last of Us Part 2. And they've been going on the social media promotions, the YouTube video promotions, and they dropped their new trailer today, which is the Fight for Survival trailer. And I wanted to go through it. I wanted to give my thoughts, my opinions, my breakdown of what I saw. So we got a lot of really good screenshots coming out of this thing. I don't want to show the video because I don't want to get copyright struck. Sony's kind of a pain in the ass sometimes. But we got the logo here. It looks really good. It's what a lot of people have been sharing around. They're recognizable at this point. First things up, we see this swarmer outside of what appears to be some kind of motel, hotel, Holiday Inn, so to speak, but a TP based one. And it's but just right off the bat, even looking at the graphics of the design of the swarmer, looks pretty good. This one, you see this one a couple times in the trailer. It's pretty freaky, but it does give you a good indication for what exactly you're going to be seeing in regards to the violence of these swarmers, of these freakers, these zombies, so to speak. Come back over here, we have this intro shot showing Sony Interactive Entertainment. What I like about this shot, though, for one, is it just looking at the corpse on the left-hand side of the screen, just rotted out, disgusting, blood everywhere, rib cage exposed, lower torso completely dragged off somewhere we can't see. And I think that's going to give us a solid idea as to for what to expect inside of the game in regards to just the art direction and the sheer amount of violence and bloodshed and macabre and mayhem we're going to find. But looking here at Deacon, we get a good look at Sam Witwer, who did the motion capture, obviously did the facial work as well, and just, his likeness, his voice. And it looks really good. This looks like PS4 graphics, PS4 Pro probably. This is a 4K rendering of it, and you can just see the attention to detail, and of course the eyes are really the window to the soul here, and that level of fear from what he's seeing at this moment in the trailer is like, oh shit. But one of the things I noticed, though, is look at his teeth. They're pretty white. In the zombie apocalypse, toothbrushes and oral hygiene, probably not the top of the thing to do. But good on him, good on him. And of course, we get to see here the world of Days Gone, Fighting to Survive, coming April 26th. Again, showing us this is the alternative round, the alternative shot from from what I showed you guys before. We can see off to the right there would be where the half-eaten zombie is. But again, just looking at the attention to detail in regards to the dirt and the muck and the mud and the fog, it looks like Oregon. It looks like Southern Oregon, and I'm from Oregon, so yeah, I know. What I love here is just this shot. Like, this looks crazy and freaky and scary as hell. Coming up on a horde of freakers, middle of the night. All you have is your flashlight, and they're all just kind of hibernating right there. Any loud noise, any false move is going to bring them on you. And since these guys kind of run in a hive mind mentality, it's going to be very interesting to see what happens. But also looking at the left there with the red light, to me, that indicates that this is going to be maybe an early level, giving you a clearly defined path around the horde while introducing you to the world at large. We have another shot here of them drinking. Apparently they have a cycle where these freakers do need to hydrate. Makes sense again. But also we see how many of them are just on the screen here. And there are so freaking many. It's a huge amount, and definitely going to cause for some scary moments in the game. Here we get another shot of a few of them feasting on some corpses of some kind. I don't know exactly what it is. It does appear, oh no, actually it kind of appears like they're eating each other, which would make some sense. Cannibalism does feel like it would play into this, and not like they're going to get sick off of the tainted meat. But wouldn't that also then, I mean, how does that work in my mind? Is it when one of them falls, it kind of emits a pheromone that's like, oh, this one's now okay to eat, versus if it was alive, what would stop some freakers from like eating themselves? There's going to have to be, I think there's going to have to be some lore on that one, if I'm being honest with you. That's a question I would ask the developers. Here we get a better shot of the swarmer in the first thing. Again, looking at the detail on his chest, the emaciated body, the clearly messed up face, and the fact that this dude's going to be screaming to bring a huge number of freakers your way. Here we get the kind of the introduction to the newts. These are the smaller characters. These are the characters that are more like the scavenger types that are just waiting for you to get lower in health. They want you to be injured before they attack you. It's a very interesting mechanic, you know, because we get this great shot here of one of them looking at Deacon, and we can see that it looks kind of tiny. Looks kind of tiny. It's because these are all kids. These are children zombies. There's a reason why they haven't talked a lot about the fact that you get to kill children zombies in the game. They haven't done it. They have not done it. You ask them about, like, they'll bring up the newts. They'll have them in the little gameplay trailers. You talk to them about what it is, and they're like, "Nah, man, like they don't mention that it's kids." But that's clearly a lubberkind over there on the right. It is the lubberkind from Witcher 3, obviously. We see here an excellent shot of my ex-girlfriend. I'm sorry, a screamer. In which case my ex-girlfriend was. Anyway, the point is that this is very much like the witch from from Left 4 Dead. Makes sense, with the weird skirts and the weird, really kind of displaced boobies. But obviously, when you've got a situation where there is flesh somewhat rotting off your skin, because you just don't really eat much other than meat and whatever you can get your hands on, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. Look, it's just, at this point, you'd be surprised if a boob didn't pop out, right? If they're going for realism in Days Gone, maybe that should be a DLC thing. But here we got, I guess, the final character they're going to show us. I think there's probably more than just this guy, but this is just one of the shots of the Breaker, where we can see just a freaker in his arm right there, and just how big the body is. And then you see him here getting ready to body slam that guy. And just look at that. It looks like a freaking orc from Mordor. But definitely the boomer type character, definitely the tank. We see these in all these zombie games, but I actually will say I like the design on this better than in Left 4 Dead, as well as State of Decay. I always felt like the tanks in State of Decay were a little bit too much, but the design here looks pretty good, especially the lighting reflecting off of his chrome dome. You can see the veins and the blood and everything else. It looks pretty great. Then we have a shot here of Deacon again with his rifle, and he's killing a lot of zombies. But again, just the attention to detail, not only in the tattoos on him, but the facial hair, the gun itself, the rings. It just looks like you could see that Sony Bend spent a lot of time really working on the characters in this game, really working on the design, really working on how they wanted it to look. And that's probably one of the reasons why it was delayed for so freaking long. It should have already been out by now, but no, 2.5 more months. 2.5 more months of trailers like this. We get another shot here of him using a Molotov or using a fire arrow on his crossbow to burn out a freaker nest. This is going to be one of the obvious key points in the game. Oh, hey, we have a freaker infestation over here. Go and smoke him out, chief. And he goes and he does that, and then they fight him and everything else. I like this shot, because I thought it was really nice. This is him in a firefight with humans, with bad guys, with raiders. I don't know if that's what they're going to call them, but just seeing like the shell casings come out of the gun. And of course, he is just icing people down. We can see here that there's one body right there on the floor, and he's got a couple more enemies coming at him, and they've got the guns. I don't know how intense or insane these combats are going to be, because obviously, look, one of my favorite things with Left 4 Dead, not Left 4 Dead, sorry, The Last of Us, is the battling with the raiders, with the scavengers, with the humans. I felt like those were always more intense because they could fire back. They would also use tactics to try to swarm you, and it wouldn't just be a rush job like you would get with, well, the zombies in those games, right? The infected in those games. So I like the idea of taking on good, balanced human opponents that use tactics, that use AI, and aren't just, there for me to put bullets in. I want there to be a challenge. And I feel like from what I've seen, that's going to kind of be hit or miss with this particular department. Looking at some people talking after playing this game over at Penny Arcade Expo, PAX South not too long ago, they had a situation here where they thought that the combat was a little bit too light. There wasn't enough impact with the weaponry. It just felt like people got shot and fell down like they're kind of like paper dolls. I kind of likened it to Grand Theft Auto 5. When you run up on a pedestrian and you shoot the pedestrian in GTA 5, they die. They just crumple over dead. That's it. That's what they do. That's all they do. But in regards to, GTA 4, where they had robust health stats. You could do more to them. The impact of your actions against them felt like they had weight. And I'm hoping that this game is more like GTA 4 and not GTA 5. But I do like this look here where Deacon is rolling up on a homie and just shanking him. You can see he had already stabbed him one time. The knife is pulling out. There is the cast off pattern, obviously from the stab, although that is not how cast off patterns work. But hey, you know what? This game is not 100% realistic in regards to how it handles forensic evidence from stabbing, but he runs upon the dude, takes him out pretty quick. We see him here with melee weapons, getting ready to battle a few of the swarmers. But again, look at the design of the guy on the left there. I don't know how many different outlooks of these things are going to be, but obviously they shared the same similar features. Hairless, emaciated, tattered clothes, obviously no shoes. I don't see any of them wearing shoes. Did they take them off, or did they just randomly fall off like from walking around? How does it work in regards to everything else? Again, I want there to be deeper lore about how they became. I'm sure there will be. I just want that to be explained. Therefore, it kind of further solidifies the world. What we can see here is through the crafting system, we get a little bit of an idea. So he was using in the other image here, a superior club. We can see that. And here he needs to repair it, which requires 3 scraps. And he has got 17, obviously, in his inventory. But the cool thing about this is you can repair it on the go. So it's not like you have to stop somewhere and open up another menu and try to crouch and repair it like you would in The Last of Us. This one, while you're on the go, you are repairing the weaponry. And I think that's going to help for the movability and the mobility of the character. However, it might also break the realism when you're like, oh man, I got to apply these scraps to this club. Hold on, I'm at a full sprint. I don't think they're going to do that, but obviously it does feel like there's something there. This is a great shot because it shows you the devastation of a close range shotgun blast to a freaker's face. It doesn't appear that there's any loss of limb from what I could tell, but the combat in this particular scene was pretty insane, simply because the way that Deacon is taking on multiple zombies all at once. And I'm wondering, with the 5 rounds that are going to be inside that shotgun, what the reload time is, how fast things are going to work out. I am curious to see what happens here when he takes on this wolf as well. Look at this, the detail. This thing is very much got some scabies, or it's got alopecia. It might be allergic to something, that it's been feasting on. Who knows? It's going after Deacon here. But look at this attention to detail on his arm. His arm there shows he's got all these burn marks. Looks like he's burned off tattoos. Like that's going to be part of his backstory. That's a new one. That's a new feature. And then also we can see here that this thing is entirely messed up. And then this final image in the trailer is of the wolf just going to Motown on Deacon's neck. But we get, again, a better idea of just how messed up this thing is. And then it takes us to the... obviously to the end of the show, so to speak. And that's the trailer. That's the trailer they showed us today. Obviously comes out on April 26th. You can pre-order it now if you want the Uber Special Ultra Mega Edition, which I really don't care much about. I'll have to go look into it further. But based upon this trailer and the last one that they showed us, they are going to be taking the Grand Theft Auto route and really kind of opening up the world through these little informational trailers, these little informational videos. And I do want to break them down more because Days Gone has been one I've been looking forward to for years. And I really hope the game is good. I'm a little bit concerned after watching Dreamcast guy talk about it from PAX South. He was the one who was mentioning it being a little bit like just too arcadey in regards to the combat, that there's no real weight behind your actions. And I think that in a world that's going to be as dreary and as drab and as terrible as this one, not having that be a reality, not having that be a thing is going to be a bit of a problem. And I really hope they don't do that, but anything can happen. They got a lot riding on this game. This is their first, their major single player release in regards to a platform exclusive in the first half of the year. So they want it to be good. I have a feeling it's going to. Sony Bend has always made good games. Siphon Filter, anyone. So with any luck, we'll know more about this here pretty soon. I'm hoping they release a demo. I believe that all games like this should have some kind of demo, whether or not it's just the take on a horde scene that we've seen them use at different conventions and stuff. I feel that they need more of these. And but in the meantime, I'm definitely hooked on it. What do you guys think? You think this looks like a lot of fun? Think this looks pretty bad? Where do you stand on it? Let me know down in the comments. If you guys made it this far, go ahead and type in Days Gone in the chat so I know. Be sure to toss the thumbs up. I'll talk to you guys later. Have yourself a great day, and peace out. Hey, thank you so much for making it to the end of the video. Since you're here, why don't leave a comment? Let me know what you think about stuff. If you want to subscribe to the channel, you can do that as well. You check out any of these great, fantastic, amazing commentary tracks by me. That's right. I'm not egotistical or narcissistic at all. I'm just your average, everyday, normal YouTuber. Thanks for watching.